Hey, what's up, everyone, and welcome to the Jabin Chavez Leadership Podcast, where I'm just here to help you as a leader, help you as someone who is trying to lead and inspire people. That's what it's all about. I'm hoping to make your world better. I'm hoping to make your mindset bigger. I believe as you get better and as you get bigger on the inside, your organization can do nothing but grow. And that's what I'm believing God for in your life and in your ministry. And I'm just praying today is a blessing to you. I'm going to be talking today about how to lead different levels of people on your team. How to lead, how to inspire different levels of people on your team. It was a while back that I was talking with a mentor of mine, and I was telling him how frustrated I was and how taxing it was to speak to my staff every week. Every Tuesday, I was bringing a new leadership thought, a new leadership talk, a new leadership idea. And I said, man, I'm so worn out. I don't feel like they're listening, and I don't feel like they're taking this stuff and doing anything with it. And I'm just so, I'm so taxed from it, and it feels harder for me to do the Tuesday leadership talk than it does weekends. And man, I feel like I'm working so hard. I'm just going on and on and on. And he said, Jabin, I know why that's happening. He said, because you're talking to people who aren't leaders like they're leaders. And you're giving them material, and you're giving them content, and you're giving them ideas that it's way beyond them. And he said, it's not their fault, it's your fault. Not everybody on your team is a leader. And then he said something crazy. He said, and usually if they are a leader, they won't be on your team for long because they're going to go lead something. And he said, so don't be mad at your team for not being leaders. He said, you have to be willing and able to talk to all the different layers of your team. So I want to go through them very quickly. And here's the first layer. And this layer, by the way, there's not a lot of hope for, but it's the lazy person, They do not do, and they do not think. They really don't have the capacity or the ability to do anything or to think. Now, see, here's my conviction. I can teach you how to think, but I can't teach you to think. I can teach you how to work, but I can't really teach you to work. And I want to say this about the lazy person. You really want to figure out this person in the interview process. And you want to make sure that you're not hiring lazy people. And so hire slow, fire fast. Hire slow, fire fast. You want to hire really slow. I think it's always amazing how shocked people can be to join a church staff, and it's actually work. It's hard work. It's hard work. It's a lot of thinking. It's a lot of planning. It's a lot of preparing. It's a lot of getting ahead. There's a lot to it. And so a lazy person cannot function in a high functioning staff and in a great growing church. And so you want to figure that out in the interview process. You want to figure out, oh man, this person doesn't want to work. Okay, this person has had a lot of issues, had a lot of different jobs. Okay, this person, and you want to make sure to never hire a person who for whatever reason doesn't have the ability to do and doesn't have the ability to think. Because you're going to need people who know how to get stuff done, and you're going to need people who know how to process mentally. So there's the lazy person. The lazy person you must remove from the team. Number 2 is the doer. You're going to have people on your team who are doers. They do the job, but they just do their job. They do their job, but they just do their job. And it's not because they're lazy, but it's just because they can't handle anymore and can't do anymore. And it's not fair of you to try to get them to do more. They do the bare minimum, and they usually can only work alone. And I would say about that group of people, that is okay. That is okay. It's okay. They do the bare minimum. They usually work alone, and that's okay. So it's not not a terrible thing. It's not a bad thing. They're doers. They can be great at admin. They could be great with a very, very clear job description, like do these things and do them every week. They can do well in a role that does not require leadership skills. They're doers. They know how to do it. Like a great example of this would be a church who finds a person who's an awesome worship leader. I mean, they're just gifted musically, vocally, whatever. And then they try to make them the worship pastor. But they're not a pastor. They're not a leader. They're not a director. They're a doer. Give them a microphone, give them a guitar, give them a piano, and they can crush, but they're not anything more than a doer. Give them a song and they can tear it up. But what we want to do is we want to go, you're called to ministry. You're our new worship pastor. Well, they might be called to ministry in the sense of they've got a great gift and they want to use it for God, but they might be terrible with people, terrible with scheduling, terrible with the admin, terrible with learning how to empower and equip people. And I've seen this so many times where a buddy of mine will get a guy who's an awesome singer, awesome worship leader, great songwriter, and they try to make him the worship pastor. Number one, you're hurting your ministry. Number two, you're destroying that person. They're a doer. Don't try to make them a manager. Don't try to make them a leader. Let them do and let them function in their doing. You give them 10 things on a piece of paper, they can do it. Want them to in any way draw outside the lines, you're going to crush them. So you got doers. Number three, you got managers. Here's what a manager can do. A manager can do and think with others. So they can do and think with others. It doesn't necessarily mean they know how to empower, but it does mean they can function within a team. But a manager is usually at the mercy and the strength of the team. So if the team is good, the manager looks strong. Let me say it like this. If the team is good, the manager might look like a leader, but they're not a leader. They're just a manager. But they look good because of their team. So they can, in some ways, they can organize and direct, but they cannot lead and empower. And let me just say this. We need managers. And I would even go further. Most churches need more managers and are usually ignoring the role of the manager. And so the manager role is a very important role. They need to get things done. They need to organize. They need to direct. They need to help create the systems and the plans. And man, when you've got a talented team, that manager looks like a rock star. And really, they are rock star, and they're awesome. They really are awesome because we need them. We need them in the details. But again, not necessarily a leader. By the way, management was like all the rage back in the 1980s. Everyone was teaching and writing books on management, but then leadership became like the big focus and became kind of the new word. But there's nothing wrong with managers. We need managers to manage. They love details. They can help make sure that things are getting done, and they love seeing a goal come to pass. So they're awesome. They can do with others. They're not just doers by themselves. They can do with others, and they can think with others. Can they empower? Can they inspire? Can they motivate? Can they dream? Not necessarily, but you need managers. It's called middle management for a reason. They're in the middle. They're in the midst. They're in it with you. But they're not necessarily up here. So you have managers, and now number 4, you have leaders. They don't just do their job, and yes, they do have a job and they have to do it, but they know how to inspire. They know how to come up with ideas. They have vision, and they know how to rally others to do it. So a leader knows not only what they need to do, but they know how to now gather and bring people into it. They can implement ideas, and they can implement ideas with others. You got to have leaders. But I want to say this, like it's very famous to say that leaders are made, not born, and that anybody can become a leader. And I just don't really agree with that. I think there's, the Bible says in Romans that there is the gift of leadership. And so I don't think everybody is a leader. And I think it's unfair for us as ministers to try to make everyone leaders. Anyone can be a leader because anyone can have influence. Nah, leadership's a gift. Leadership is this uncanny it factor that can rally, that can attract, that is magnetic, that can inspire, and that can think and come up with ideas, and then they have the grit to do it. That's what a leader is. And then a great leader, here's number 5, a great leader can do all the things a leader can do, but they can do it with other leaders. They can't just lead doers or managers. They know how to lead leaders. That's what a great leader is. They can lead with other leaders. That takes trust, security, and a willingness to let the best idea win. And by the way, on your team right now, you have all those people. You have lazy people. You got to remove them. You've got doers. You've got to empower them and communicate to them and let them do. You've got managers, important. You've got some leaders, and then you've got some great leaders. And you need to talk to all of them differently. They all should have different access to you. They should all be in different meetings. Don't put a great leader in a meeting with a doer and they feel frustrated. Maybe that doer right now has a leadership position, but you need to take that off of them and just let them do all of this. All of this is happening right now in your organization. And if you can figure that out and figure out, by the way, as the main leader of the organization who you're talking to, this can radically impact the health of the organization and your joy, because I think a lot of people have access to you probably that shouldn't have access to you, and it's frustrating you, and it's really hurting you and just affecting your joy level. All right, work on it. That's your work this week. Figure it out, y'all. Figure out who your team is, and then make sure you're releasing them properly into the ministry. I love you so much. Make sure you like and subscribe to this page. Make sure that you're following along. We're live streaming every Sunday, new sermon every Sunday night, leadership every Wednesday, and then brand new worship every Friday. I love you so much, and we'll see you real soon.